Welcome back to Evolve Point, a Shadowverse podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Shadowverse related. I'm your host, Ignideus, and my voice is barely coming back. With me, as always, is Kaelan and Tonko. Say hello.
It's been a hot minute, so I forgot all my Tonko greetings.
You already forgot it. 1 week off and it's
been like
gone.
2 weeks. It's been like 2 weeks and I forgot. Oh, Tonko and Benoit. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's the one.
That's
That's one of them.
You also did Tonko, Doko, Tonko, Coco, which is even worse.
That's excellent.
That one's awful.
Well, if this is
That's great.
If this is your first episode of Evolve Point, I cast and make content for Shadowverse. Tonko streams tier lists recently, and Kaelan does the Reddit.
I administrate for the English community.
I was the Portacraft guy, then I became the Sephi guy, and then I became a tier list guy.
You're the tier list Andy now. I watched some of that tier list stream, and let me tell you, yeah,
that's in my watch later. I'm waiting for that.
I'm a little dumber now than I was before.
I actually was holding back that stream because I was hungry, so I couldn't express more of my power.
Wow, you're limited by no Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Well,
I had Taco Bell, but so what happened was I DoorDash Taco Bell and I got the wrong order, and the order was so big I felt guilty. So I tried calling the lady back. It's like, I don't want to get you in trouble. I got the wrong order. I don't know if I should just keep this. So she told me she would get the correct order and I would leave the other order outside. She never came back.
Oh.
3 hours later, the big DoorDash Taco Bell order was still sitting outside my door. So I just had cold Taco Bell, soggy Taco Bell for like 3 days straight.
Suck. Oh.
But you're so Tonko. That's such a cute story. You tried to return the food.
Yeah, but it was a waste of time.
You're just a little guy.
I tried to do one nice thing and I was punished.
All right, well, besides that, what have you been up to?
I'm playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing a lot of Yu-Bell in my local Yu-Gi-Oh! Community.
Oh.
We don't really have a shop to play in, but we just kind of gather around and hang out. Yu-Bell is so good.
Yu-Bell is the evil Tulpa of the main guy.
Yeah, she's the Golf Tulpa GF from GX. Yeah.
What about you, Kaelan? What are you doing?
I've become 98th best in the world Forest Craft main. I've gone all in on Forest, gotten 93 wins in a week.
You're trying to get 500 before Worlds Beyond comes out, right?
I'm trying to get 1,000 before Worlds Beyond comes out, but I'm not going to do that. And I also was only level 141 with Forest. I'm 148 now, so I'll get 500 ranked wins with Forest and level 150 with Forest. The last two class-based achievements I have left in the game in the next maybe month.
Mm-hmm. When did you start grinding that?
A week ago. Like,
oh my god,
a little less than 10 days ago, and I've gotten like 10 wins a day.
You're already in the top 1%.
I got 20 Forest Craft wins in a day. As soon as I got Grandmaster with Armed Dragon a couple weeks back, I just felt this weight lifted off me, and I've just been actually having fun playing ranked all of a sudden.
Unlimited is actually pretty based now, so
it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Dude, I just recently started climbing with your hosting me this as well too. I had time before Blue Archive Maintenance. It's like, I got like 2 hours to kill, and within those 2 hours, I climbed like 2k points without even trying.
Yeah,
I've been hovering up and down between 12,000 points and 12,500, but that's been keeping me above 500 the best. Top 100 starts at about 15,000 points, so I'll probably not get top 100 this season, but I'm not sure if I've ever been that high ranked. But Unlimited is, you can get top 1,000 with only 20,000 over Grandmaster. Unlimited is not as popular as Rotation right now, not even close.
I actually forgot that top 100 pricing was even a thing. I thought it was just top 1k.
Well, I mean, there's top 100 pricing,
Oh.
and there's also the top 3 where you can actually get invited to tournaments and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's the strata.
Is there a difference? I thought it was top 10k, top 1k, and then top 3. Top 100 is just to appear on the list.
Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
you are
that's right. Yeah.
permanently ingrained in the game if you do get top 100. Your name will always be on there. You can go back to season, I think, like 4 or something, and see who the top player was for any given class all the way back there.
And now you're one of them.
If I stay this high up.
Well,
might
you can
be
go
the
back to
top-
season 1. Yeah, you
Top
can see
100
the,
alongside Giguk.
yeah, you could see the top players from each class going all the way back to the first season in 2016.
yeah.
Oh wait, I might be
June.
in top 100 for Porto at some point.
You
Yeah,
wanna
I hope so. I'm
do you wanna-
Photocap
do you wanna
guide, I
check
hope
back
so.
92 seasons and see if you
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite a lot.
Anyway, I have been doing nothing the past week, so I don't really have anything to
Yeah.
report. I've been reading a lot of light
just-
novels in bed. So,
Any recommendations?
no. They're all bad. So
Yeah, it's a light novel. That checks out.
I read some of them because it's just like wish fulfillment trash, and I'm like,
Yeah.
after I got out of my fugue, I'm like, what am I doing? I closed the tab. Anyway, let's get into the news. Battle Pass Season 10 rewards were added to the shop, so you can now buy Ceylong for 500 crystals.
Sidong,
The
Bowser.
leader. You can get the alt art for Wayfaring Goblin and Hugin and Moonin also for 500 crystals. And then there's a bunch of cosmetics you can get for 400 crystals. Title Gunner, Executor of the Oath, Black Rust Underling, Warden of the Adamant Claw, Winged Inversion, Scorching Grandiosity. So if you want that, you can.
I've never seen anyone pay for those.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if anything, if I missed one, it's just, I would only get the leader and not the other
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Yeah.
just cute that they offer the option in general.
I like
nice.
it. It just reduces the amount of FOMO in the game, which I
I
always
think they
appreciate.
should probably be a bit cheaper than their prices because like 400 crystals for a sleeve and an emblem or a set
Yeah,
of
that's
them.
pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's a bit steep, IMO.
Well, it's-
but
it's-
I've never
it's-
missed a battle pass.
It's
so
only there
doesn't
for people
affect
who
me.
missed the battle pass and who really, really want it, so I kind of get it. But
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that they're not having permanent FOMO, which I think is a big deal. A lot of games do that, and I think it's kind of scummy. So the fact that they release the thing to the shop eventually is pretty nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just miss the leader because they didn't have time to grind Battle Pass. So you can wait like a year or two for the guy to come back.
Yeah.
You know, once Shadowverse Champions Battle, not Champions Battle,
Worlds
Worlds
Beyond.
Beyond is already back. You can get the leader for an old dead game if you want to.
There's a
Well, we do know that something to do with leaders will transfer to Worlds Beyond, so they seem like the
Yeah.
most valuable thing to invest leftover crystals into,
that's true.
as far as it
Like,
goes.
might
with
as well.
Shadowverse 1. Yeah. Like
Season,
I've got 5,000 crystals. No, I've got 4,000 crystals. I know I won't be able to spend on battle passes, so I'll just buy a bunch of old leaders with that, and hopefully something to do with them transfers to the next game.
you'll get a little outfit for the overworld.
Maybe.
God,
Yeah,
I
If
hope
that's
so.
all I get, I think I'll be
I want to dress as Sephi.
okay.
I want to
I
become
want to
the
be
Sephi.
Sephi.
Cosplaying in the overworld's gonna be great.
We also got Season 91 Master Score rewards for the top 3. They get the flares, you got top 1K, top 10K rewards, and of course that means Season 92 has started as well. I'm not really invested in ladder right now, so I'm not going to do any of that. I just want to play. Honestly, I'm not laddering at the moment. I'm just waiting for my voice to get better so I can play Grand Blue Relink. So I don't think I'm going to get any of the rewards this season. Are you guys grinding for this at all?
For what?
The top
Which-
1K and top 10K rewards for,
I mean,
for
well,
ladder.
in Unlimited, I'm not really grinding for it. I'll get top 1K.
I mean, you're
I'm not
already there.
trying to. Yeah, I'm not trying
I-
to. I'm just trying to get Forest Winds and it's lining up.
Part of me kind of wants to try to climb to GM2 because my idol, my Oshi, Giguk did so, but
Yeah.
there's no protocraft deck for me.
Are you
grinding,
going
so-
to? I was just going to say.
Nah. I like to be able to GM. I'd like to be able to get GM2 sometime before Worlds Beyond comes out, but it's not happening this season.
They
So
also,
I just looked it up,
yeah, what's up?
and for the season of December 2019 to February 2020, Petanko was actually ranked 21 in Portal wins.
I was 21. I thought
Yeah.
I know it was in top 100, but 21. I think that might have been float control, unlimited float control, because I grinded the hell out of
I am looking
unlimited
at
back then.
unlimited actually, not rotation.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which format you play more.
21?
usually rotation,
You're
but I think
so
that's
high
the-
up. What the hell?
Yeah, I think that's the one time. I didn't even reach like GM 1 or 2 or anything. I don't even. Well, I mean, it's unlimited, so it's not that many players anyway. You know what I think
Yeah.
it is? I think it was just a bad format for Portalcraft in general. Because I only got 231 wins. That's nothing.
Yeah. It had to have been a bad format for the
Yeah, that
deck,
was
'cause
probably
quite
when
often,
Artifact was dead.
like if a class is doing particularly well in a season, the minimum is 500.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
They also updated the Battle Pass missions on February 29th, so now you can get emblems and sleeves of Odile and Odette. Have you guys done that yet?
Oh yeah, I
think
got
I-
93 Portal Forestcraft wins in the last week. I definitely already finished those.
Which one's the white swan? Which one's the white one?
Odette.
Oh, I think I'm already done. Yeah, like I just got her. Yay!
Yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty easy to do if you just play the game, which is one thing I like about the Battle Pass is that it's not that hard.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
just surprised because I don't feel like I've been playing that much. But okay,
all you need
sure.
to do is your daily quests, and you'll get 100 wins a season.
Hmm.
If your daily quests average out to about 4 wins per day,
Yeah.
pretty easy to
It's,
make
like,
up
pretty
the rest.
easy.
Usually I don't do all my dailies, so I just kind of play whenever I can or on stream. But yay, I got that over with. Yay!
Couple of Grand Prix have happened since the last episode of the podcast. So we got the Rotation Cup Volume 2 finals where you got the Chronos Evolve sleeves. How'd you guys do on that?
Oh, dude,
I got 0-2 in
I
the finals. I'll just say it right
I just barely made it to finals. I just straight up gave up on rotation and just started playing Buff Dragon.
Yeah, I my first run in the Resurgent Legends Mini Grand Prix was 777 Dragon, the big dragon, and I did 2-3. So for the rest of it, I just did Buff Dragon, and in the finals Group A, I got 3 wins.
Yeah, I went
I think I
0-2, so that's pretty sad.
I think in the final round I just got 1 win because I got bad hands. Like the only I've been playing Buff Dragon for several days at that point, and those were the only games I actually had really bad hands. Like I opened
Of course.
3 copies of Heaven Scale or whatever its name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, typical. Oh
Rip.
well.
Yeah.
We also had the Gauntlet for Resurgent Rotation, and there was the entry reward of Roland and Milnard cosmetics, and of course the big reward if you win all of them, you get like a bajillion rupees, right? Like, how much is it? You get quite a few.
20,000.
20,000.
every win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, turning 2,000 gold into 20 would be grand, but I've only ever seen Shift do it.
I did not have the rupees for this.
I don't usually
forgot.
play gauntlets.
I'm sitting on 28,000 rupees right now, and I didn't see it as a value.
I
I
do
don't think it's worth it.
I do try to play Gauntlet on stream for content, but usually Gauntlet sneaks up on me, especially in recent expansions. Like I just forget about it because I'm too busy
It was
spending
announced
rupees
like
on.
2 days before it was out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was spending my rupees on trying to get Sephi, and then it's just announced it out of nowhere. It's like, well, usually Gauntlet is in the 2nd or 3rd month of an expansion anyway. I think that's the thing.
quite
It kind of
sure.
like flips off sometimes. Then I feel like we already had the Gauntlet this expansion too. We had Take 2 Gauntlet, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did.
I
That was not that
believe
long
we
ago.
did. Yeah.
No, that was really not that long ago. So
Yeah, that's why I didn't realize that we were gonna get a rotation one too. But
either way,
usually I do.
the winning decks have been added for the rotation and the gauntlet, so you can see what
Oh,
won
yeah.
in the end.
Usually I do extremely poorly in Gauntlet though. Like the Gauntlet rules are relatively generous now. It's not too difficult to get a good amount of wins, but most Gauntlet runs I've only had like 1 win and that's it, which is like 100 rupees.
Rip.
I've had plenty of runs that I haven't started with 1 win. I've never lost my free game with Gauntlet. I just choose to not play them.
I think it's good for content, certainly, but I usually don't
Yeah.
have the rupees because I spend the rupees to get. Right now, I'm trying to get alt art, Dark Alice, which I don't have yet. It's
I've gotten
annoying.
3 alt art. I've gotten 3
got
alt
2.
art Dark Atlas, and 2 of them were foil when I unpacked them. But I am 400 and a couple packs into this current set, 0 leaders.
Damn.
I'm dejected.
That sucks. All right. Well, big events happening now. Now that we're caught up with what we missed last week, there's a Take-Two Tactics is back. Tacticians Cup. Private match missions were added. It's going to last until the 15th of Pacific time. And you get Grand Prix tickets from playing Take-Two Tactics in private matches. So get on it.
Yeah, I gotta get mine done today.
Dude,
Might need to grab one of you two after this.
I love Tactics. Usually I like Tactics Cup. The last one was kind of dog shit, but Machina is back, boys.
Machina is back. Yeah.
Machina's back on the menu.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. So first of all, in private matches, Take-Two All-Stars, Legacy, Gems Fortune, and Tactics are back until March 25th. So usually when there's a big event like this, they bring back all the limited time formats in private matches. And the big event is, of course, Tacticians Cup Volume 5 and the archetypes that are available. If you guys didn't know, it's a draft format where you draft cards cross-craft with a given archetype. And the archetypes are Combo Natura, Token, Spell Boost, Phoenix Roost, Burial Rite, Evolve, Amulet, and Machina. And you can see the full card list in the Shadowverse official website.
Yeah, I think historically I've done absolutely horrible whenever Dragon's available to me in this format. I'm pretty sure Dragon's just not on the same level.
I think Evolve
I don't think
is probably...
Dragon's ever been good for Tactician.
No, it's
like
Phoenix Roost is the meme option. Like if you want to actually win, you should pick Token or Evolve probably as the most consistent option.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Dragon had last time, but usually when they have Roost is super bait.
Yeah, but Machina being back is pretty fun. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yippee. And of course, it's gonna last from March 14th until March 25th Pacific time. And the reward this time, other than the usual GP rewards, is Shion cosmetics. So if you're a portal guy,
Shion mentioned.
If you're a portal guy, get into it.
I put Shion pretty low in my tier list, but she's alright.
Wow.
She's okay.
Metal poisoning. Do you want mercury poisoning, bro?
I like sushi.
Well,
also, they released a new Legendary Guaranteed 10-pack bundle for Resurgent Legends. They released it on the 14th Pacific time. You can buy it up to 3 times. Each time gives you 20 points with a Legendary Leader or Alt guaranteed. Alt being guaranteed means that maybe I got to do it for that Dark Atlas. So who can say?
I mean, in the last bundle, I got Dark Atlas in the last bundle.
Maybe it's time. And for purchasing it, you also get a purchase bonus for each time you buy it. This time it's Evo Ginger Raging Word Cosmetics. So the first one you get the sleeves, then you get emblem, then you get animated sleeves for buying the third one. So.
I'm gonna be the guy to put out the disclaimer that keep in mind Worlds Beyond is only 3.5 months away.
Yeah, that's true. But I want the Dark Atlas, so get off my dick, Kaelan.
You can't make me.
We also got very big news. The Shadowverse channel that's announcing the new set
32nd card expansion
has been announced for March 19th, 7 p.m. Japan time. It's going to have information on, like I said, usually it's just a bunch of the voice actors and the producers and stuff getting together, discussing stuff. Usually statistics based on the last set and also spoilers for the new set. But they
don't forget the game show segment where we get lots of prizes.
The elite stalling is crazy.
Oh my god!
The stream goes on forever when we're just trying to get new information. Yep, it's definitely, I'm gonna do a watch along stream with that like I usually do because it's fun. But they had a very interesting thing where they explicitly said in their announcement tweet that there's gonna be no information on Worlds Beyond in this stream.
That's a crying shame.
That is heartbreaking. I'm so concerned now because like the game is only like 3 months out and we haven't had any publicity or marketing at all. And I'm like, what's going on?
I'm concerned that it's not going to be a June release. I'm concerned it's going to be an end of summer release at this point.
Well, like August, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, maybe there's going to be like another expansion after this coming one. Like it will.
Was that no confirmation it was in June?
It was just summer. They just announced it for summer.
No, but they have the roadmap where it's this is the
last
last
set.
set
Goes up to June.
Yeah, I mean, then after that it's Worlds Beyond release. So
Yeah. Okay, so I guess maybe it was just
It's latest is July, I think, right? So
yeah.
But God, that'd be heartbreaking if in June. What am I gonna do in June?
Why are they blue balling Worlds Beyond news at this point?
I don't get it
Like,
either. Like I'm so concerned. Like they just like
It's
haven't
very
put out any
Japanese
marketing for it
practice.
until this point, which is kind of
No,
weird.
dude, Japanese practice is like, yes, they don't reveal too much until it's approaching release, but we're already approaching release. It's only 3 months.
We are, in fairness,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We are in the end game already.
And like maybe I'm just being a warty wart, but like I feel like this kind of thing also shows, or at least it comes off as a lack of confidence about Worlds Beyond. And that upsets me a little bit. It's
for me,
it's bad
it's
optics.
overconfidence. Overconfidence. Like, oh, we don't need to reveal more. It's like it'll be a banger when it comes out. You guys will be there when it comes out.
No, but like that's only for existing players. Like I feel like
exactly.
it's not showing it's not a good showing for people who are like not already playing Shadowverse.
I feel like this is a missed opportunity to really get new people excited.
Yeah, that's what I'm
try out
saying.
This new game.
Yeah, like they should probably be advertising Shadowverse 1 right now in a way to onboard people as a preparation measure for Worlds Beyond.
That's what I thought was definitely going to happen with the last set.
To play Worlds Beyond and maybe introduce some events that encourage people to get started. Like I remember there was an event way back in the day where you could recommend friends to play the game, and that got a lot of new people into the game because everyone was recommending people they actually knew to get in the game and use their friend code.
But yeah, exactly. I thought for sure that the last set
I think that's how I got in the game.
I thought for sure that the last set would be like a sort of transitionary set between the two games. Like
they could just be waiting until Shadowverse has officially turned 9 years old before they really ramp up the marketing for Worlds Beyond. 8? I thought we were up to 9 with this upcoming
8
anniversary. Ah, okay. Damn.
Your brain is rotted.
Too much Shadowverse knowledge. As you just said, I've been in the community for what, 7.5 years?
It feels like 9, maybe.
It feels like it's been 10 years for you.
Shadowverse Evolve news, though, there's a lot going on. First of all, an ambassador showdown was uploaded to the official Shadowverse Evolve English channel, where the 2 English edition ambassadors dueled it out. So go check that out.
Who are they?
They are Different Fight and me. I'm one of them. So go watch it. It's a great video. The editing team did a really good job making it accessible to people who are new to the game and like highlighting all the cards we were playing. So I actually didn't see the final product until it was uploaded. And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, this is a banger. So you should go watch it.
Nice.
Also, Bushiroad Springfest has started in Ontario, California on March 3rd, where, you know, it's a team event, teams of 3, and the winner gets a Bahamut alt art, which looks really, really strong. The winners are the Musketeers. So congratulations to them. And the other team names are also pretty weird. Scrambled Eggs with Herbs came in 2nd, and You Dropped This L came in 3rd. So there you go.
I actually forgot you could make team names like that. That's cute.
Yeah, it's funny. Also recently, Springfest London happened March 9th and 10th, and the first place lineup was Egghaven, Hero, and Discard. Surprising no one really. No Uma is kind of surprising, I guess, but yeah, Discard still really strong, Hero really strong, Egghaven probably the strongest in the format. So there you go. Speaking of Shadowverse Evolve news, we're also getting the first ever Shadowverse Evolve only special conference, spring 2024. There's going to be new information on the 5th set, and the first Glory Finder bundle, and more. So tune in March 21st, 9 p.m. Pacific time. I'm probably going to be doing a watch-along stream for that. So
yeah, usually they lump Shadowverse Evolve news in with just general English Bushiroad news, but this is a solo stream.
Yeah, there's a lot being announced.
I think it's also interesting that they highlighted new info for the 5th set, because I'm pretty sure we already have the release dates for the 5th sets. So they might be announcing an English specific collab or something.
Who can say? I mean, I can say, I know, but I can't say. Yeah, I know what's being announced in this, and it's a lot. You should watch it. Nice. I obviously can't say anything about it though, but I'm particularly excited for. You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't get in trouble. Go watch it. Yeah. And I'm gonna do a watch along of it as well.
Ambassador knowledge.
I'm gonna do a watch along of it as well. I don't know the details. I just know sort of like what's happening. So, you know, I'm also gonna be keeping my eyes peeled. So that's again March 21st, 9 p.m. Also, just announced, I think yesterday, the JCS Finals is having an official English co-stream this weekend, March 16th and 17th, with the 2 English Edition ambassadors casting, which is, of course, Chris Different Fight and me. So
That's you.
come check it out. It'll be fun. It'll be Japanese meta though, so get caught up on set 9. Lots of Earthright, I'm predicting, and also I'm
Earthlight
hoping
good, Puppet's good.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Prage, Zernitra, and top 8. I believe.
Let's go.
There's a new dragon archetype which is based around Zernitra, and I'm like, please be good. Please make it to top 8. That's my wife.
With Worlds Beyond shaping up to look more like Shadowverse Evolved than Shadowverse 1, then maybe it will.
Maybe Zernitra will be a thing in digital.
Zernitra
Finally.
in digital again.
Please. Also, a big news that was just announced. Bushiroad Expo is coming to Indonesia at Comic Frontier 18. It's going to be on May 11th and 12th at the ICE BSD City Expo Hall. I think it's an expo hall. I think I've been there. It's where Comic Furo usually is. Again, that's May 11 and 12, and I'm going to be there. So if you want to go see me, go.
Are you going to be there as a special guest or just a special guy?
I'm going to be there probably for work. So.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll have free time to talk to people. So come visit. And also, weirdly enough, my sister is going to be tabling there in the artist alley. So I'm going to meet my sister at the expo hall, but for separate occasions. So that's a bit weird. But yeah. Go there. It'll be fun. Shadowverse Evolve is going to be there. Which is why I'm there, obviously. It'd be weird if I was there for like White Schwartz or something.
Can't fight Vanguard.
Randomly. All right, let's talk about esports. Your favorite section, Kaelan.
Yeah. I've watched one whole esports event ever, and it's the one that killed your throat.
Yes, that's the Shadowverse Invitational. And on that event, they announced the World Championship online qualifying tournament. So KMR, the producer of Shadowverse, came out and announced this himself. There's going to be a wild card slot for the World Championship through this tournament. It's going to happen in early 2025, and it's going to allow participation from overseas. So get in there. Day 2 seeding rights will also be established during this tournament. So it's an online, anybody can join. So this could be your rags to riches moment if you're new to the game. So get in there. It is early 2025 though, so it is going to be in the new game, Worlds Beyond. So, one thing that I'm curious to see is what if the pros in Shadowverse 1 are just like not good at Shadowverse 2? Now that's gonna happen, but really maybe.
It would be cute if like card design is so fundamentally different somehow that people have to actually try to read on the game.
I doubt it, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, there's no way,
see.
but
I
doubt it.
I think the thing that I'm gonna be most keeping my eye out for is new people who are new to Worlds Beyond, new to Shadowverse in general. Yeah. And if they're gonna make a big splash in the competitive scene, that'd be cool.
Like it does look like Worlds Beyond is going to have some higher mechanics to the base way you duel, such as super evolves, that are going to make the game less intuitive. I came from Hearthstone and Elder Scrolls Legends when I started playing Shadowverse, and just snapping my fingers, I was actually good at the game.
Yeah,
I had inherent knowledge of how to play the game. I think Shadowverse Worlds Beyond might be a bit less so in that direction.
There's also a lot of speculation about Worlds Beyond. Obviously, we don't have any news since the Shadowverse Next, but there was like a little 5-slot area on the UI, and we thought it was for leader effects. But recently, I've been thinking if they're porting over Abysscraft and Engage from Shadowverse Evolve, what if those 5 things, those 5 empty slots, what if that's the EX area?
Oh my god! Wait. Oh. I'd have to recheck the trailer to see if it's filled up with anything.
No, on the trailer it's 5 empty slots and only one is filled up with like a Satan emblem. So I was thinking if that's the EX area and the game plays more like Shadowverse Evolve, it's gonna be one of the best card games of all time. So.
Yeah.
And again, I think the idea of limiting how many leader effects you can have would definitely be quite nice, because some decks in Shadowverse 1
that's just speculation.
Having 20 leader effects all at once.
But I mean, it would take a really long time for Worlds Beyond to reach the point of having that many leader effects available, though.
Yeah, this is all just speculation, obviously, but like if they are porting more mechanics for Evolve,
all we can do.
Yeah, if it is Evolve like Evolve is one of the best card games ever, so I would be for it.
You're not even being biased. Like, it's true.
No, I'm not. I mean, obviously I am biased, but I'm not being biased right now because Evolve is incredibly good, and in just like 2 short years, it is now like the 5th most popular card game in Japan. So like,
yeah, me having played like 12 different TCGs in my time, Shadowverse Evolve is genuinely unironically one of the best. Like, that's not just me being biased towards Shadowverse. It's just that good.
It's really good. Anyway, more esports news. The JCG Shadowverse Open has been trucking along as usual. Here are the recent events since the last episode and what won. On the 28th of February, we got Buff Helio winning with Castel and Midrange Shadow in 2nd place. Yippee! Midrange Shadow mentioned. And then on the 1st of March, we got Castel Helio in 1st and Magachio and Enhanced Portal in 2nd. Oh my god!
Enhanced mentioned?
2nd place. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
On the 2nd, we had a Take-Two tournament, and then on the 3rd, it was Castel Buff in 1st with Last Words and Heal in 2nd. So Last Words mentioned. Back. It's back, baby.
Heal mentioned.
Yeah.
Heal is a bit different too.
On the 6th, we got Buff and Helio at the top. And then on the 8th, another Take-Two tournament. And the 9th, Magachio and Enhance actually won the entire thing. So it's time for you to play Enhanced Portal, Tanko, because it won in a tournament.
True.
I've been avoiding Enhance for a long time. I gotta check these lists.
Net deck that list because it actually won an online. And then on the 10th, Buff and Helio won again. So pretty much cemented right now. From results wise, it's like Castel, Helio, Buff as the top dogs, and then everything else in tier 2. So there you go.
Yeah, there's only so many times we can say it's a shame Buff's the only good dragon deck.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, honestly, I'm happy that Helio is good because it actually takes thought to play, but...
Dude, so I never really fully understood Helio until we did that watch-along stream, the giant invitational watch-along stream that killed your voice, as we said.
Like 18 hours of streaming.
Yeah. It did kill my voice, which is why I sound like a chain smoker right now.
After I finally saw what a real Helio player looks like, I'm like, oh, I never want to see this deck ever again. It is disgusting, but you have to earn that shit, though.
Yeah,
so
you really do have to earn it.
Acceptable, I guess.
Speaking of that big watch-along stream, the Shadowverse Invitational did happen between last episode and now. I did a watch-along of it, as we said. It was on March 1st to March 3rd Pacific time, or 2 days, basically.
Was it like 20 hours total?
Yeah. The top 8 gets a promo Dark Alice, and the champion gets a promo Ursa and a trophy. And the champion was actually Ryza, who is a ladder grinder. So if you just play enough ladder, you can come in, beat all of the pro players, and get a trophy. So you no longer are able to make fun of ladder players ever again, because they actually beat all the pros.
I just don't know how they do it, how they could win 1,000 matches in 1 month.
Yeah.
Magic to me.
It's crazy.
They even sleep.
The finals was actually against Rumoy, who is a pro player who is retiring. So it's really an anime moment where, like, the
old master versus the new blood.
The powerful commoner came in to the prestigious event.
I could have actually gotten something if I remembered to vote, because I was going to just vote for the guy you guys had.
Yeah, I just voted for Rumoy as well because he was retiring. I knew that he was going to make it to finals based on anime logic.
You got like 2 packs out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
It was pretty amazing that a guy who has no, team was able to take it over all the pros. So congratulations to Ryza, and I bet that his Twitter following blew up after this. So yippee.
Yippee.
Talking about the more amateur leagues here, Ratings Cup, which is Ratings is a service that facilitates best of 3s in Shadowverse, and they usually have a small money tournament at the end of each season. This time it was on the 10th of March, and the winner, Nia, or is Nia the team? Or Nia Riria, I don't know which one of those is the team, which one's the name, won the entire thing with a Castel and Last Words lineup. Last Words underrated. So there you go. And here are the upcoming events happening. First of all, the Shadowverse Open Mini for March is happening. I think it's the last 48 hours to register right now, so go do that if you haven't. It's happening on the 16th, 8 p.m. Japan time. It's going to be 5 Swiss matches, and if you play all 5, you have a chance to get raffled for the physical prizes, which is like the Luna pillow and stuff. And they recently revealed that they're also making playmats, and I'm like, maybe I have to play Shadowverse Open Mini now.
Do you not have enough playmats?
I want more. The playmats are really good.
Bro, Kaelan, don't even get me started with playmats. I have little like buckets, bins of playmats.
And the playmats look really good. It's Barbaros and Kuridwin.
Do you
It's
guys
just
use
fun to
like
collect them.
Shadowverse playmats as your desk pads?
I use one as my desk pad, yeah.
Yeah, I swap
Nice.
between.
But look at these.
I use them for my locals too.
They're actually so beautiful, and I want them. So
Yeah.
maybe it's time for me to play Shadowverse Open Mini. Honestly, yeah, maybe I will. But yeah, that's. Wait, is it on the 16th? Oh, then I can't. I'm working that day. Rip.
So sad. You're gonna come in and stolen
the
another
clock.
tournament.
Rip. So yeah, that's happening. So make sure to register, and also a physical event. It's an Xyz meetup presented by JCG Shadowverse Open in Japan at the Musashino Forest General Sports Plaza at 10 a.m. March 17th. There's going to be tournaments and fan meetings, so if you're in Japan, you can go there if you would like.
What is an Xyz?
Xyz is the professional team, which Rumoy is a part of, which he's retiring from. So it's like your last chance to meet up with Rumoy, I guess, also, if you're a big fan of Xyz.
Those guys are basically celebrities, because I feel like they're the only Japanese team I hear of.
This
This season,
LVS is
of
pretty
course.
big, too. And LVS is supported by Sapporo, which is, the beer company.
Ooh.
Like, Shadowverse esports in Japan's a big thing, dude. Like, they're actually supported by
they
major
have-
corporations. It's crazy.
They have actual hard sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll never not shock me just how big Shadowverse in Japan is. But I do appreciate it because it means, like, as long as Shadowverse is good in Japan, the rest of the world gets to have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably not going away.
Good stuff. All right, that's all the news. That's a lot of news because we missed a week, so deal with it. Let's go into the main topic, shall we? Which is the Last Shadowverse Set. What do we want? It's going to be revealed in just a few days now, so this is our last chance to speculate about what it is, what we want from it, and how we actually think it's going to be handled. So I guess, who wants to go first?
Let Petty go first.
I think it's gonna be all the story characters come back. It's gonna be like a Smash Ultimate. Everyone is here.
That would be nice.
All the cast members are gonna be here one more time as to become playable for the very end of Shadowverse 1.
I was gonna say I hope it's not nostalgia bait, but that's actually something I'd get behind.
I think
I
it
don't
is
think
going to be
it's-
nostalgia bait, and it's going to be all resurgence, right? That's why they introduced the resurgent mechanic last set. Is that they're
Well,
going
I
to have a
think
ton of resurgence in this one.
I'm thinking they're gonna do Resurgent after, like, we've theorized that they're gonna do Resurgent during the maintenance mode, like when Worlds Beyond comes out. But I think the primary focus is gonna be on story, like original characters, right? OCs throughout Shadowverse history.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
If we're
surprised if they were
lucky,
resurgent in
maybe-
this set, though, because like otherwise,
I
why
think it's gonna-
introduce resurgence last set if they're not going to use it this set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's gonna be a couple. Like I'm thinking there's gonna be mostly story. If we're lucky, we might see like the card OCs, like omens and stuff. But I don't think it's gonna be enough space though.
No, if they're gonna do something like that, they'll focus on all the story characters they've built up over the years because they really
Or-
have built up a lot of original characters in the story mode.
Or they can squeeze in a bunch of different characters into one card as like tokens. Like imagine that this is such a dumb idea, but just if they wanted to do like omens for the last expansion, just imagine like a neutral
Oh
that
no,
gives you the choice between 10 different cards themed around
that's
each omen.
wild.
That is
God,
a dumb
please,
idea.
No more.
It's such a dumb idea, but
I don't
I mean,
want
it's
more Gilnelise running around.
it's a hell of a way to send Shadowverse 1 off, that's for sure.
I think definitely we're gonna get some more nostalgia characters. Here's my theory: last set, Resurgent Legends, all of the resurgents were Humegas. I think this set, the resurgence might actually be like the iconic characters as a sort of send off, like even non-story stuff like Albert and Hector and stuff like that. That's my speculation.
Do you guys think it's gonna be 130 something cards like every other expansion, or do you think it'll be bigger?
I think it'll be the same.
I feel like there's nothing at this point, like there's nothing necessarily stopping them from doing anything bigger, like because it's going to be the last major expansion, so maybe they can go even bigger.
I think this set is going to be the same size because I feel like first of all, most of their team is transferred to Worlds Beyond anyway, so scaling up as the last set doesn't follow for me. But one thing that was brought up last week that or not last week, I think it was brought up in a Let's Argue, which I'm fishing answers for.
But yeah, you do that.
The mini set. Are they really going to have a mini set halfway through this set only for a few weeks later for Worlds Beyond to come out? That's a little weird, right?
That.
Oh yeah, that's a
just
good point.
Because if they do have a mini set, it would be the mini set that would be the last major thing to happen.
Because usually mini sets are there to tide you over until the next set, but in this case, the game is over. So like, is there a point in having a mini set that's only around for 2 weeks before we get the new set, or for 6 weeks until we get the new game?
I think they'll still do mini set just because it's, you know, tradition, and it's still important for them to shake up the meta halfway through the expansion, so it doesn't feel like a totally stagnant expansion.
I do agree with you that they're probably still going to do it, but I wish that they didn't. I wish that they released all of it in the main release and then just do balance updates for. I
wish they didn't, so they could release Worlds Beyond sooner.
I wish this set was just Worlds Beyond instead.
I think what I'd expect is either no mini expansion and then just every month for a while, like maybe 6 months, maybe a year, we get an actual balance patch, kind of like we recently did for Unlimited, but just like every month, maybe 5 cards.
Like just full on changes a bunch of cards, that, like fundamentally.
Instead of releasing cards, balance the game a bit to shake up the meta enough. And if that just happened often enough, some people would get mad about it, but maybe like cards get buffed for a month and then reverted. Something easy that a couple of people left over on the maintenance team could do just as custodians to keep the meta shaken up for a while. That's definitely an option. What I think the worst case scenario would be is this next card pack comes out. It gets a mini expansion about 6 weeks after it comes out, and then about 6 weeks after that, another mini expansion in that pack, and this last pack just keeps bloating up with new mini expansions constantly instead of actual expansions, which I think is possible, but probably worst case scenario.
I think it's possible just in the sense that if they do the resurgent strategy of just using resurgent cards as new patches, then I could see them doing like continuous mini expansions over like.
Yeah, my issue would be the cost of
that. Is a good point. Like, if they are going to be doing resurgence in perpetuity, like how are they going to release them? And is this last Shadowverse set going to be like a dumping ground for like all the new resurgent cards? That's a new fear that you've instilled in me that I did not know that I did not want to have.
Because can you imagine, like in a couple years, there's just one pack that has 600 cards in it?
No, that's not going to happen.
That wouldn't be all that nice.
But
I was just thinking, like, what don't you guys want to see? What would be the worst?
The actual worst? For me,
I had a terrible thought that came to my mind.
Do you want to go first then, or do you want to go last?
Yeah. What if it's an anime set?
Like
me speaking as the anime fan, like the idea of getting all the missing anime cards here at the very end, just like leftovers, would be so sad.
No, I think the anime is still going to be running when Worlds Beyond is out, and I think that maybe our second, third, or fourth expansion in Worlds Beyond will be anime themed.
No, I mean like all the anime cards that were missing, because we're still missing a ton from season 1.
Yeah, but I think those cards will come out in maybe a year from now.
Yeah, that's why I'm expecting them to, at this point, just be pointing towards Beyond.
They should honestly put a bunch of the anime cards that were missing from season 1 into the base set of the next game.
I think one of my fears that could be, because there's a certain cycle that the game's been running for the past 2 years with their collaborations tied into expansions, like with the SpyX family one, that would technically line up with the 30-second card pack for a big major collab. True. I hope they don't have anything.
That would be so
because if they did
dumb.
If they did the HoloLive collab next month, I would be dejected.
That would be so
Lord,
dumb.
That would hurt.
Like, imagine if next set has the Miku, like imagine if the Miku collab tier, like something of that level, was in the next set.
That would be brutal.
I think the thing that I want the least is, this is the kind of a milquetoast answer, But if the next set was just a normal set with like no fanfare, that'd be really depressing.
Yeah, that would hurt too.
Like the last set just being a regular set as if nothing's happening, and then like
It's just like, oh yeah, it's just a couple other like Bahamut cards. That
no
we haven't
send off,
gotten yet.
no transition, nothing. It's just like a normal set. That would break my heart. I'd be like 8 years of this game, and the finale is this would destroy me. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so gun to your head, gun to your dick. What card do you want them to make the most in this last set? Like you're talking about story characters. What do you want to see returned here? Mono, I think, is going to be a big answer for a lot of people.
For me, it's hard to say. I guess I'm going to say Zenitra because my other two favorite Dragoncraft cards, Forte and Phylene, have plenty of printings.
There's no shot Zenitra is going to be in this last set. I think there's no way. If it is,
I think I could do
that
it.
would be. I don't know how I'd feel about that. If Zenitra is in the last set of the game.
See, my suspicion, I'm not expecting them to have any major like Bahamut characters come back just because they're already coming back in Worlds Beyond.
Yeah. I would say I would love them to resurge the most the main cast, the original main cast, like Rowan, Orisa.
Yeah, I think they gotta bring back the main cast because the main cast has only had like 2 cards each. 3 if you want to include Rowan's spear spell.
With
thingy.
how often expansions tie into the current story mode kind of thing, I think the main cast are done as far as Shadowverse 1 is concerned.
Do you think there's going to be cards from the latest story in this? Like from Whispers of Purgation?
I do, but not cards like, I don't know if I should even say names. I don't know if there are enough strong characters in the Whispers of Purgation Part 1.
I did skip for packs. I think there's only like maybe 5 like
there are
main
5
like 5 or 6 main characters.
That is a good point though, because like on the official Shadowverse Twitter, they were like hyping up Whispers of Purgation with like
there is
official
a
art and
strong
stuff.
Dragon Sword Haven. No.
But I'm just saying, like, because they released
Sword
official art
Haven.
for it, like maybe they are hyping it up for a release.
Portal. Yeah, so there's only a couple, but it's speculated there's going to be one more story set, like Whispers of Purgation Part 2 or something like that, before Worlds Beyond, just to wrap things up, because, oh man, Whispers of Purgation is a strong story, but I'm not 100% sure that's where it should end for Shadowverse 1.
No, but like, I just linked the art. Like, the splash art is like, the character design is very strong, so like, and they're hyping it up with art like this, so I'm like, maybe they are gonna do a Whispers of Purgation cards in the last set. Interesting.
If they do have a second Whispers of Purgation campaign and they introduce cards or characters for the other 4 classes, absolutely, it'll happen then. But at the same time, like, they'd be releasing those cards before the expansion. Although, put it this way, maybe there is a Whispers of Purgation Part 2 and the next expansion is themed around story characters, and then the mini expansion has the 8 story characters.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
I guess their names are out here, so like
I feel like there's
Kratos and
there's so many good ideas for what the last set could be and like what we want a send off for Shadowverse 1 to be, that I don't know if there's even enough space in the set to fit them all.
That's why I do the thing where you just make a fat 400 card set, like we said.
Honestly, that is interesting. That might be a thing just because I don't know if I want
it now. The mini expansion might come with the 8 characters, or at least the 4 that we have from Whispers of Purgation. And if there's a second story, it might be 8. That could be it.
I don't know if I want Academy of Ages in the rotation forever. So, it would be nice if if the final set was a 400 card set that pushed out like 3 sets from rotation. That would be like nice.
If they decided to just push out all the other sets and made it so that there are only the Resurgent sets and a couple of miscellaneous cards, like basically the last 2 expansions are the entirety of rotation, it would just be Resurgent mode, that would be something.
That would be interesting. Lots of speculation, and we won't find out until the reveal stream on the 19th. Is it the 19th? I'm on this show and I already forgot. Yes, the 19th on 7 p.m. Japan time. So Yeah, there's lots of ways that
I'll
they
be
could
busy
implement
playing
it.
Stardew Valley 1.5.
I
or
think
whatever it's called, 1.6.
I think while there's no Worlds Beyond news confirmed in the next Shadowverse channel, there is going to be a lot of news regarding how the game is going to sunset, or not sunset, but rather like how it's going to, go into maintenance mode in perpetuity. Like, for example, on the roadmap, they said that they're going to release a whole new format, right? And I expect that to be like how the game lives. And hopefully they're going to announce that in the Shadowverse channel stream. And like all these questions about how are we going to release the new Resurgent cards and stuff like that. I would hope that that information is revealed, because right now, honestly, the way we're talking about this last set, all the ideas are so disparate and out there that I don't know what's going to be real. I feel like anything can happen. So,
I hope they announce when they're gonna announce Worlds Beyond news.
that could be nice.
In this live stream, I don't think they're even going to give us that.
Yeah, I doubt it, because they did explicitly say there's no information on Worlds Beyond.
Not even
could
information on information.
They could maybe hopefully say like, oh yeah, we're gonna have an actual review stream like so and so day, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
No, I think for sure though, no matter how this last Shadowverse set is handled, I really hope that in the Shadowverse channel live they do give information on what the maintenance mode is going to mean for the game, and like how it's going to actually work. Because what I thought from this discussion was that we'd have like a few ideas of like, oh, what cards are coming back, but the ideas you guys have introduced, I didn't even consider, like making a giant jumbo set or making a set that's like the final set that all Resurgent cards are added to. Now I'm more curious about that. Like, how is it gonna be handled as we move into Worlds Beyond? Like,
oh, I just came up with another terrifying idea.
Okay, here we go. Give me a new fear. The new third fear that I did not even have until now. What's up?
What if they just turn Shadowverse into an offline mode?
Oh my god!
Like it's just single player.
No way.
Okay. I'll put it this way. How about in like 4 years they do that?
Yeah,
Because it would be nice if the story is playable then. But also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but a couple years back, they changed the way the story mode works to basically you download that chapter of the story that you are playing that moment. There is entirely a chance they port every chapter from Shadowverse 1 to Worlds Beyond. Because realistically, they're all just packets that could be downloaded. You think that would be an option?
Although
I think it's gonna be a different
suppose
engine.
it would have to be without the card game battling. It would only be the story, no fighting.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's why Shadowverse is staying up, is so that people can play the old content. I don't think
to preserve the original.
Yeah. But wow, I did not even consider that Shadowverse 1 goes into maintenance like offline mode.
And the full offline.
That would be
mode.
better than some games have gotten. Some games have had this, like some card games have had it, so you can't even play their story anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
The one I mourn the most, but I won't get into it.
I feel like Shadowverse would go into a full offline mode eventually, but it would be extremely depressing if they went straight to it, though.
No,
way, right?
I don't think it's happening. I don't think we need to doom that much.
Yeah.
for me, it's not a dooming thing. I'm just questioning it logistically. Like, how are they going to release new cards? Like Kaelan said, is it just going to be all dumped into the last pack, and this is what that pack is going to be? Who can say?
I would not like that, because eventually, like, people, you probably want it in a way where you can freely spend your gold on previous packs to buy whatever you want, not just have to save it up for the next drop on the latest expansion.
I literally have no clue how they're going to introduce new cards. So, yeah. I guess
it could be crafting only, like
maybe
release new cards, and
or there could just be no cards ever again offline mode.
That's also possible.
No cards ever again. They just introduced the Resurgent mechanic as a joke.
I mean, they basically introduced maneuver as a joke and then never went back to it.
It's happened.
Never forget the Levin trait.
Okay, so I came into this episode thinking, oh, it'll be fun to speculate what characters are coming back, and I came out with so many questions on how the game is going to be handled logistically. So, thanks for that, I guess.
You came out black-pilled.
Let's find out what happens in the Shadowverse Evolve stream. Oh, sorry, the Shadowverse channel stream happening in a few days. All right, well, let's move on to the question of the week then. Last week we asked the audience, that's you. Do you think mini sets were a good feature in the end? Why or why not? As we move into the end of Shadowverse 1, was mini expansions actually a positive thing for the game, or was it a net negative? That's what I asked.
Did we ever answer this question ourselves last episode? It's been a long time. I forgot.
We did not. So we'll answer it ourselves as well. But first, let's get into the fan responses. Fang Leng Shun writes, it's kind of hard to say. I've only played the game after it had minis, but I think it's a good idea mostly done badly. It's a good idea because it freshens up the game beyond the meta you have in the first week. But it's done badly because after that you're just waiting for the new expansion, doesn't have time to develop or any room to breathe. Unless it's really broken, you get what you get. Either improves the meta slightly or it's something you have to swallow/avoid until the next expansion. There's also barely any hype in it. The only exception being the Omen of Storms trailer, which was actually pretty hype. Yeah, that was
Oh yeah, that was.
Why did they never do that ever
They
again?
only did it once and then
so
never
hype.
again, where they hyped up
The
the mini
Omen of
expansions.
Storms trailer was like part 1 and part 2.
I think the idea is good, but it needs more tweaking so that it can be something that people actually look forward to, a la events in actual gacha games. Interesting take.
I understand that not every expansion has the opportunity to continue like a story the way that Omen of Storms did with its mini, but like
I mean, you could. They just choose not to. Like,
yeah, like do something.
Like
to
there are
make it
card games where like
interesting.
an entire set is a narrative, and every single card ties into the narrative. In Shadowverse, you get some cards that tie into a theme, and then it's a bunch of random stuff. So,
like imagine back in oh god, I forgot what expansion it was. Was it when we got the main characters, like the main cast came back as like actual cards?
Yeah.
Imagine if we got a trailer for that.
yeah, that would have been sick.
Was that Nascent?
Who can say?
Or was that before that? Who
Three
cares
guys
anyway?
who've played Shadowverse for many, many years. Who can say? Nobody can say this
It
answer.
all blends together. It all returns to nothing.
We also got a response from Weeb on the Discord. By the way, discord.gg/Ignideus if you want to participate. While the mini set is a nice idea in theory, I don't think it rose to the potential it had. Oftentimes you find that the mini does nothing, or it introduces new game warping threats like when Dragon got Lumior, when Portal got Judith. In recent times, those very polarizing minis have felt like the norm. What's more, since you still have a chance to pull old cards and trying to get the mini set and the third leader's held captive behind it as well, it feels like pulling cards before the expansion, before the mini, is a kind of a waste of money. Not to mention you always run the risk of not just pulling anything. Oh, sorry, you're just not pulling any since they restrict the mini to only the highest rarities in the game. Decent idea, not great execution overall. Yeah, that's true. The mini's only legendaries and golds, so.
Yeah.
No, I think the leader part is the only part that really pissed me off. When they shifted poll winner leaders to, or just gachas in general into mini expansion, like that started with the Shenna, and I was so pissed off when the Shenna was specifically mini expansion.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's one thing to try to get people more excited for the mini, but to make people feel like they're missing out on lows by rolling too early because they had to expect the leader in the mini expansion, like, oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like definitely there's systems that could be. Like, honestly, mini expansions feels like a stapled on system that wasn't at the game's inception. You know what I mean? So like, hopefully in Worlds Beyond, building it from the ground up, they figure out a way to spice the expansion up mid set without having all the baggage from the mini expansion system that we had in Shadowverse 1. That's my hope, I guess.
Yeah.
We also got a response from Marinosuke. I've only played 2 out of the 8-year lifespan, but what I think is that getting support to hurting decks faster than a full set is good. I also like that set releases aren't crammed monthly, but being delivered in the full set isn't ideal for quick pulls, so maybe some variety of event every other set for mini cards would also have been an option. And then Rola said, mini sets help the format change a bit without resorting to limiting or nerfing cards. I think it was a good idea, considering some formats did get stale for a while, but I also remember mini expansions just changing a good format to a god-awful one. So it's a double-edged sword. Yup, that happened multiple times. But I'd still rather have the change than it being stagnant. I mean, that's a good point, too. Like, when the mini expansion cards are 2 game warping, and they just, like, ruin the format, which... you know, wasn't Caernunos a mini expansion card and cards like that? So, yeah,
But I do like when decks get saved by mini support. Like, well, I mean, this was considered like a baddie, but Judith saving Enhanced Portal.
yeah, but that ruined the Aswell format.
Yeah, true.
So,
But maybe they should have given good cards to other classes besides just Portal and Dragon. You know?
Yeah, maybe. I definitely.
It's not my fault everyone got dog water.
there is definitely something to be said about the execution of mini expansions, where like if it just like gives one class the most powerful card ever and a bunch of other classes nothing, then obviously that's gonna be bad no matter how they implement the rest of the system, right? So I don't know. I wish I guess I just wish that the mini set cards were simply support rather than like completely redefining what an archetype does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people get upset that it's like it's a mini. It's like, oh, nothing's really changed. But I kind of like lower power mini expansions because I like mini expansions where they don't necessarily warp the meta, but they still give fun stuff, like interesting stuff to support other archetypes or that can become better supported in the future.
Yeah. I would like it if the mini expansion cards were literally just cards that supported dog piss archetypes and like nothing to support like the top of the meta, just to make the tier 2 more varied.
I think if that was the idea from the start, like if we had that expectation of, if we've always had that expectation of minis aren't going to be like incredibly influential, it like the fact that minis are so like hit or miss is pretty frustrating. But if we had the expectation that it's going to be this power level the entire time, I feel like people wouldn't be as upset about it if it was consistent about it.
Yeah, I think it would have been better if like consistently it was just there to add support for worse archetypes rather than, you know, sometimes they do that and sometimes they just print a new card for the top deck in the game. It's like, okay. That's how I feel. And that's what a lot of people on YouTube said. So let's take a look. Windy Boo says, mini is hit or miss. As a concept, it's fantastic. The ability to spice up a meta that's beginning to stagnate adds more flavor to the game. However, in practice, it felt like cards were getting cut from launch and added later, rather than something to make meaningful changes. That actually is a good point.
I honestly don't agree with that.
Really?
Because of the fact that they're like extra cards. I don't think they're necessarily directly cut from the original plan.
It's true. Like, didn't sets get bigger? It wasn't like it's not like it was taken from the original pool, right? So
now, on the other hand, we do have some expansions where, yes, sometimes the base set is cut. Like we had expansions where they straight up cut the legendary, like a neutral legendary, and put in the main.
Yeah, we've
instead.
had some expansions where there was just no neutrals printed.
Although usually that's like for like a specific theme. Such as Omen. I think Omen didn't have neutral legendaries because they were both in the mini expansion.
What do you mean? Gilm Elise.
No. They added the new Omens
in the mini expansion.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Because originally it was just the ultimate characters, the ultimate Coliseum characters. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like the idea, because Shadowverse is obviously planned so far ahead, I think there is a possibility that like cards that were meant to be just like a complete archetype were put in the mini instead. It obviously it didn't change the amount of cards in the release, so that just made room for like other cards to be printed. But I think it's definitely a possibility that some pieces of an archetype were put into the mini instead of the main set.
There's also been occasions where not even a mini expansion has saved some archetypes that weren't given enough support. Like, wasn't Glittering Gold not supported in the mini?
Yeah, that's like baffling stuff to me. Where like the mini expansion would just release support for the top deck and not for the bottom deck makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's sort of like
I would actually argue that mini expansion actually gave the developers more room to design because it gave them extra card slots to work with. Extra like rares like golds and legendaries. It gave them the opportunity to try out higher power or different stuff for these extra legendary and gold slots. It's just that they didn't always use those extra slots wisely, you know?
Yeah. I can pay that. We also got a response from True Strixie in 6496. As an idea, it's okay. However, I think the execution went wonky, and it's not something that should happen every set. The thing is that the classes all get very little, so every card in the mini has to be packed, and it led to some crazy cards that warped formats and decks. Case in point, Discord Convict was a hard meme until Judith came around. Going further back, Portal was a problem utilizing Calamity's Genesis. It's a neat idea, but it didn't hold up well. Interesting. What do you think about this idea of not having a mini every set?
I hate that. It's either
No,
all or
that's
none.
even worse.
Yeah, I agree.
That's even worse.
I think definitely there's a way to do change-ups mid-set without having a mini set in the current form, but making it
Unlimited got completely thrown on its head by the buffs, but it might have only lasted a month, but it was definitely a very impactful change.
Yeah.
So balance updates can completely change.
But like, if you're trying to introduce new cards, I don't think the way that they've done it so far has to be the way that they do it going forward. You know what I mean? Where like bundling it with the like original pack and doing all of that. I think there's definitely ways that they could implement this so that it's less tied down, not only to the pack that it's attached to, but also like not what's the word I'm looking for? Not only to the pack that it's attached to, but also not attached to the cards of the set that it's attached to. You know what I mean? Like, you expect the mini expansion to be an expansion, like expounding upon ideas introduced in the original set, right?
Yeah,
the current
like
set.
we've had mini expansions that supported archetypes rotating out 6 weeks later, haven't we?
Yeah, so it's just thematically it's very strange in that sense. So I wonder if they could do it in a different way. Also,
I think if they didn't do mini expansions every expansion, like that would make things even more annoying, because they would make mini expansions less consistent, so that whenever we did finally get a mini expansion, it's like we waited all this time for this shit.
I think mini expansions, honestly, I don't know if they should be like attached to the current set. Like, what if they were just a separate thing? Like, as a
like I think if they just did like a whole like just like a, not even like an extension of the current expansion, but just like a little side expansion of like, give it like a cute little name, put like a character on it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And that way they could explore different ideas rather than either the current situation of A, supporting an archetype that was, the main idea in the current set, or B, weirdly like supporting archetypes that are rotating out or whatever.
I can tell you, I've played a card game that had expansions, main expansions that had 200 different cards in it, and then every second expansion would actually only have 80 cards in it, and the community hated that. The community just wanted every set to either be the 200 or the 80 card packs, because it ended up dividing the player base, and quite often the card pack that had 200 cards in it instead of the smaller 80 would have cards on such a higher power level compared to the ones that cost only
interesting.
They cost the same, but they only had 80 available cards, so you could actually get through the entire pack in a lot less currency. But the community hated that because it ended up just dividing how you'd spend your currency, and it really was more inconvenient than not. So I think the mini expansion should be part of the pack, but I don't like the way it currently works with how the currency is used to buy them. Like, I save my pack tickets for the mini expansion, and I only use pack tickets for the mini expansion. But I could be opening 400 card packs on the first day of each expansion, and just like one and done, be done with the opening packs from an expansion day one. Instead, I have to wait, and that does kind of feel a bit
kills
annoying.
It kills the hype a little bit.
Yeah, it kills the hype that I'm sitting on 100 card packs for a month.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it would be kind of nice if mini expansion was just side stuff, in the sense that you could spend all the tickets for the new expansion right then and there. You don't have to save for a mini. And, well, although I kind of getting like a whole separate mini expansion though, like there would have to be card packs for that instead as well, maybe.
And honestly, Kaelan, the thing you were talking about with the last last game with the 200 sets and the 80 card sets, I think that might be an issue of presentation as well. Like if they were still called mini expansions, if they were just like got a separate little logo and like a separate little section, I think that would be fine.
Maybe.
But you know, that's we're just spitballing here. And we finally got one final response from Lelouch4163 on YouTube. Good idea, execution was wonky. Let's be real, who would even enjoy 3 uninterrupted months of the same decks? Instead of releasing cards that would shake up the meta a bit, which they actually did in the past, they just choose to lock up vital cards for archetypes to function properly in the mini. Newest example would be Noct, which just happened. Or releasing random meme cards and cards with little to no synergy with existing archetypes. Basically, all of the responses this week are all saying the exact same thing, which is rare when we do a question of the week.
Before mini expansions, balance updates were a lot more consistent. That's
true.
Absolutely the case.
Yeah, I was.
Like, for instance, Wonderland Dreams didn't have a mini expansion. It had 3 major balance patches.
Well, that's an outlier for a lot of reasons, though. Wonderland Dreams.
Yeah, so I was just about to ask because I'm a millennial. I have like around like right when they started introducing mini expansions, so I don't know a world without mini expansions. Were there ever, aside from Wonderland Dreams, obviously,
I was going to mention
expansions that were like fully
Darkness
stale?
Darkness Evolved had only 9 legendaries in that card pack.
Yeah, because way back in the day, Tanko, each class only got 1 legendary.
No, yeah. I know
Rise
that.
of
I play Champions Battle.
Yeah, Rise of Bahamut had 10. Tempest had 16. So Tempest doubled the amount of legendaries in a card pack, doubling the cost of the card pack, arguably. And then Tempest through till Chronogenesis was about the same. Chronogenesis was the introduction of Portalcraft, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had a couple more for the Portalcraft legendaries. And then Dawnbreak Night Edge was the first expansion with a mini expansion. And that bumped up the number of legendaries in a card pack from about 18 to 26 per card pack. And that was a huge cost increase. So I think if people were struggling to find the currency to buy legendaries and buy decks, mini expansions would be very bad, very sour for a lot of people.
But I have like
Shadowverse is generous enough that you actually don't have that.
I was gonna say, like,
especially now.
Just recently, I introduced a bunch of LOR players to Shadowverse, and they had no problem getting decks. So I think the cost increase is fine. The only problem is your original point where you said balance updates were more consistent before mini expansions, and I think that's true because people were doing stuff like the mentality shifted, right? From, oh, do we want to live with 3 months of this meta, to, oh, we'll just wait until the mini expansion comes out and see if that shakes it up.
Yep.
So and then when the mini expansion was in meta, so it's like, oh, we just gotta survive for 1 month.
Yeah. So it's definitely changed the mentality in that sense, and I don't like it because I liked it when it was more balance updates rather than just depending on a new drop of cards to save or not save the game. You know, that's a bad feeling when you're just like,
balance patches are more healthy in general.
Balance patches, like, optically are seen as, you know, them fixing the current environment, whereas whether or not the new cards will affect the meta is a total crapshoot. You know what I mean? So like, it feels more of a gamble of like, will the next drop save the balance of the game? And that feels way worse than knowing that a regular balance update's on the way. So
balance patching gives the feeling that the devs actually, like, you know, care and understand what's wrong with the game.
I can remember back in the day that there was like, for a while we had gotten a balance patch every month, but man, did it feel rough when we got nothing. If there was like 3 months in a row where we didn't get a balance patch, and this was before mini expansions, it actually felt rough. Like the staleness of, there were probably an expansion or two where there just were no balance patches, there were no mini expansions, and it was the same decks for 3 months straight. That, frankly, we need something to spice it up. It's kind of rough to say because physical IRL card games can have decks that last 20 years, whereas an online card game, we complain if we have to deal with the same deck for 3 months straight. But it is what it is.
I think everybody being on the same page like in the responses, and also us saying that like it's a hit or miss thing, definitely points to that they should change the system in Worlds Beyond. Like,
I think mid expansions are a necessary evil.
That's
Or at
what I was
least
gonna say.
some kind of fashion of having new cards before the big mid expansion, I think is necessary. It's just it would be nice if they weren't so shitty about it.
is it though? Because the game survived for like years without it and was doing fine.
Yeah.
So,
But was
I'm
it
gonna
though?
say it
Because a
now.
lot of
I'm gonna-
people
I'm gonna
quit
say it
because of
now.
One
Maybe
Night Dreams.
well, that's
we
again.
don't
One Night
need-
Dreams is an outlier.
But I
Yeah.
kind of wonder if One Night Dreams like scared them into looking into different models like mid expansion.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say it here and now. Maybe in Worlds Beyond, they don't have mini expansions. They don't have frequent balance patches, and decks survive longer, especially if there's no rotation, like we've speculated. Just make it so we can do our daily quests in fishing or mahjong. Instead of getting ranked win dailies, do catch rank 4 fish dailies.
I think.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
think.
people will be so mad doing that.
I think. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that more like little drop pods of cards is fun, but I think my biggest problem is that they shouldn't let that interfere with their balance patch schedule either.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also like the example of like locking Noct behind the mini set, and then U10 was just unusable until Noct came out.
Yeah,
Like,
they should make the new archetype support specifically in the main set and then do other shit in the mini expansion.
yeah. I kind of agree with that. All right. Well, that's that question. A big topic. Let us know what you think in the comments. I mean, I guess you did. That's the whole point of the question of the week. Anyway, let us know what you think about next week's question, which is related to the main topic of today. What do you want from the final Shadowverse set? Like, what do you think is going to happen? And, we'll read your responses, and then by the time next week's episode come out, the Shadowverse channel will already be out, so we'll see how right or wrong you guys are, I guess.
Yeah, answer that before Shadowverse channel. Answer that before
Champions battle.
Shadowverse channel. Don't
You
Shadowverse
guys
watch,
okay?
don't
What happened?
I don't want you guys to like watch the stream first and then come back to our comments and be like, here's what I think. Oh, I was right. Haha.
I won't pick any responses that came in after the channel come out.
Here's what you should do if you're able to. Write your response before and after the stream.
Oh,
Or you can like edit your post. Maybe you can like go back to edit your comment and be
Why
like,
are
oh
you
yeah,
giving me more work? You know, I
That's
have
true.
to pick out the comments, right?
that's true.
True.
I'm just not gonna pick any comments that came in after the channel came out. And,
Fair enough.
And
Yeah.
I'll just predict what you think is the final Shadowverse set's gonna be. It'll be fun. And next week you might have a chance to be read out on the episode, and we'll see how right or wrong you are. So there you go. All right, that's this episode. I'm gonna go get my lunch. So bye.
I woke up at 2
Bye.
a.m. I'm getting in bed.
If you guys want to check out Tonko and Kaelan, they're in the description or wherever you're listening to this. It's in the info tab. Is that a thing? The info tab on Amazon Music? I don't know. I've never used it. But yeah, that'll be it for this episode. Catch you next week for the next week's episode, hopefully. I know we missed last week, but this is a weekly podcast, ostensibly. So yeah.
It's meant to be, ideally.
Ideally, unless I, start sounding like a chain smoker and I can't speak anymore. Nah,
Yeah.
ASMR, chain smoker, Igni.
Then we might skip one, but I'm sure it'll be fine.